Agree. All right. At least if that's what ends up happening. Let's move on to a game that certainly won't ruffle any feathers, and that's Steelers at Ravens. In this one, the Ravens are 6-point favorites, and both
What's
teams
wrong
were
here?
just hideous last week. The Steelers couldn't stop James Cook, and they couldn't move the ball on the offense. The Ravens turned it over 5 times versus the Bengals with their first week with Joe Burrow back this season, and the Ravens are favored in this one. They're home. And usually when these teams split, it's because Pittsburgh wins when they're at home. But it's so tough. You know, it looks like the Steelers might struggle to stop Derrick Henry on the surface because of what you saw from James Cook last week. But the way the Bills and the Ravens run the ball and the running backs themselves are so different, where Cook is like this guy who operates in space and is kind of hard to tackle and quick. And Henry is just a guy who's supposed to, break through and probably like a, well opened up hole and, run through that gap and expose that and break away for the touchdown. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
Steelers are a bit more physical and they won't kind of miss those tackles against Henry. They'll be there quick. And Henry doesn't like get through the holes quick. It's when he bursts through, and I think there's a good chance they could bottle him up, and he has like less than 50 rushing yards in this game. That's if the Ravens offense looks like it did last week, because outside of the one run he had last week versus the Bengals, they didn't really do much either. So in this one, normally I would pick the Ravens in this spot, but I actually think the Steelers might sweep the Ravens this year and kind of pull away with the division. We'll see about that, when we get around to when the Steelers are home. But I'm going to take the Steelers to win this one 17-16 in an ugly AFC North showdown. Really kind of a battle for first place over the next couple weeks. Dan, you stood with me when I hyped up this Ravens team. Am I wrong for jumping ship here?
I mean, no, they even went and decided to post about it, about what's going on with the Steelers right now, and how DK's been having a hard time trying to get open on his routes. A lot of the offensive weapons themselves are having struggles. The only one that's really active right now is Jalen Warren and Fryermuth sometimes. So, like, no, I think the Ravens right now, even though it hasn't, I think Lamar has been like in and out of practice. He's been having like some like lingering injury going on. Well, of course, that's like something we should consider. The Ravens always, I'm going with just like history, like kind of facts in the sense where like these rivalry teams, especially in the North, in the AFC North, like they always do this. So Ravens are playing at home. I'm gonna take the Ravens, just from that aspect. But also like I think the Steelers need to find their mojo again, and it's not right now. They just got rid of Slay, and then Slay went to the Bills, and now what I mean, like everybody, the whole team's kind of messed up right now. And then I saw Cam Hayward. He went through this whole thing where I believe he got spat on or something like that. That he had a huge like issue with like Josh Allen
Jalen
beforehand.
Ramsey.
No, no, no. But I'm saying Cam Hayward also got into an argument with Josh Allen, and oh no, that's what it was. He kicked him in the gut.
That's
There
right.
we go. He kicked him in the gut, and he was just like, "Hey, yo, what the heck was that for?" And then, like, I mean, so I think to me, there's a lot more emotion right now in the Steelers, and usually when you have a lot of emotion in the locker room, it could cause problems. And I think this is going to be a problem for them coming into this Ravens field.
Joy, what's your predict? Wait, I'm sorry, Dan. Give a score
I didn't get
prediction.
the score. Yeah, my fault about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But well, I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm going 17-14
Okay.
Ravens.
So you also see the defensive showdown.
Yep.
Joey, what's your prediction for the Steelers going to Baltimore?
I 100% agree. Defensive game. I think these are two teams that don't want to win, so none of them are going to try to win this game. I think this is going to be like, oh, we won the game. Like it's going to be one of those type of games. And then I
Yeah.
got the Steelers winning it just because I don't think the Ravens have played good football at all this year. Give me the Steelers 9-6.
9-6. All right.
No
Well,
touchdown.
yeah, and Dan, I want to come back to your point. We discussed both teams struggling offensively. I think the emotions there on both sides. I really do. The frustration for the Ravens has been there this whole season. At least the Steelers have had a stretch, of a little bit of levelness, and the defense has been exposed here and there. But they kind of have up and down games. And I think this is going to be one of their good games, just based on the past. They always show up for this Baltimore game, and I can't stop thinking about how if Lamar had in the Ravens offense had 5 turnovers versus the Bengals defense. What's going to happen in this one? The Steelers offense can suck. If they get handed the ball at the 10-yard line like the Bengals did, they're going to score points and win this game. So that's just kind of why, I guess you have more faith that the Ravens will course correct and they'll play clean and they'll kind of find their way into winning this game. But do you feel any sort of way about the comments I just made about the turnovers and the Ravens offense?
Well, I don't think it's more about the Ravens offense and the productivity. I think it's going to be on the offense for the Ravens side of it. I think it's going to be more of the errors that occur on the Steelers side of the offense. They've already explained about they've had the issues beforehand, and I think the Ravens defense, while they're definitely like maybe average, if not below average, of a defense that they may be, yeah, thank you, Joey. They may be able to go and capitalize on these errors and issues that they're currently having with, I guess, like I said, in the emotional state how the Steelers are. So for me, I think the Ravens defense may put them in positions where the Ravens offense, will just be able to capitalize and maybe pick up that momentum. Like, guys, we can do it. So that's kind of where I'm seeing with it.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that. Seems like this one's going to come down to the turnover battle based on, the defensive showdown and everything we explained about, admirable field position. And that's all our takes for the really close games. The rest of these games have, a bit larger spreads or just quite not as they're not as involved in the playoffs. And starting off is the Bengals and Bills.
Scott,
What's
let me
up?
Stop you there.
What's up?
Let me stop you there. I want to go back to the Bears Packers game real quick.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you guys, do you guys remember where the NFL draft was?
Is it not in
It was in Green Bay.
It was in Green Bay.
Do
you guys remember what happened when Luther Burden got picked?
No.
Everybody booed.
Everybody booed.
Yeah, everybody shat on him. They were like, he's ass. They were like shitting on him bad.
You know what was booing on him? The Bears guy came out and said, "You NFC North champion."
You know who drafted him? You know who brought him in? You know who brought him in? You know who brought him in?
Who?
Seth freaking Rollins, bro.
Yeah. But they all booed the pick, so I think that's even more fuel to this fire that Luther Burden's going to take off this week. Okay. Of course, it's going to happen in Green Bay where he got drafted and all the fans reacted.
Like, the Bears got absolutely roasted and busted on the entire draft, and I think this is one of these games where it's like they're trying to shove it. Like yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, it's I'm definitely not one to say I'm definitely not one to not play with like the idea of these scripts and storyline ways of.
I think it's a good storyline.
Yeah, it's a good storyline, and we'll see if Luther Burden score. I'll put in a bet for him just for you, Joey. All right.
I'm putting $100 on him to score touchdowns.
Okay, but, everyone gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
All right, time for the more rapid fire score predictions for, like I said, the more.